My name is Bigfoot. I fly a spaceship. You might not see me unless you're patient. Yeah, catch me in my saucer. Yeah, catch me in my UFO. Baby, I'm a monster. Yeah, maybe you don't know. My name is Skunk Ape. I smell like bad stuff. Except on Sundays I work at NASA. Yeah, catch me in my salsa. Yeah, catch me in my UFO. Baby, I'm a monster. Yeah, maybe you don't know. My name is Sasquatch. I'm still on my space. And when I blast off, I transcend time, space. Yeah, catch me in my salsa. Yeah, catch me in my UFO. Baby, I'm a monster. Yeah, maybe you don't know.
What you doing? What you doing, Bill? What you up to? Who you schooling, Bill? You got the money? You got the taste? You was on that plane to Little St. James? Yeah. What you doing, Bill? Yeah. Who you schooling, Bill? You buying farmland still? Training mosquitoes to kill? What you doing? What you doing, Bill? What you up to? Who you schooling, Bill? You got the money? You got the taste? You was on that plane to Little St. James? Yeah. What you doing, Bill? Yeah. Who you screwing, Bill? You buying farmland still? Training mosquitoes to kill? You got the money, Bill? You got the taste? You was on that plane, Bill? To Little St. James? What you doing? What you doing, Bill? What you up to? Who you screwing, Bill? You got the money? You got the taste? You was on that plane to Little St. James? Yeah. What you doing, Bill? Yeah. Who you screwing, Bill? You buying farmland still? Training mosquitoes to kill? You got the money, Bill? You got the taste, Bill? You was on that plane, Bill? To Little St. James? Bill?
Let's join a cult, let's join a cult. I heard that they got sex rituals. Let's join a cult, yeah, let's go join a cult. Anyone that will take me, let me join your cult. Welcome to the cult, caught you chasing fame. Welcome to the cult, you're in a twisted game. Welcome to the cult, run by the CIA. Welcome to the cult, we'll make you change your name. Now I'm in a cult, who expected this result? Got more chores than orgies and there's no sex rituals. In this cult, I'm stuck and sick of being in this. Join a cult, let's join a cult. I heard that they got sex rituals. Let's join a cult, yeah, let's go join a cult. Anyone that will take me, let me join your cult. Let's join a cult, let's join a cult. I heard that they got sex rituals. Let's join a cult, yeah, let's go join a cult. Anyone that will take me, let me join your cult. Welcome to the cult, caught you chasing fame. Welcome to the cult, you're in a twisted game. Welcome to the cult, run by the CIA. Welcome to the cult, we'll make you change your name. Now I'm in a cult, who expected this result? Got more chores than orgies and there's no sex rituals. In this cult, I'm stuck and sick of being in this. Join the cult, let's join the cult. I heard that they got sex rituals. Let's join a cult, yeah, let's go join the cult. Anyone that will take me, let me join your cult. Let's join the cult, let's join the cult. I heard that they got sex rituals. Let's join a cult, yeah, let's go join the cult. Anyone that will take me, let me join your cult. Let's join a cult, let's join a cult. I heard that they got sex rituals. Let's join a cult, yeah, let's go join a cult. Anyone that will take me, let me join your cult.
It's all my control. Yeah, it's all my control. MK Ultra, let's go. Messages subliminal. It's all my control. Yeah, it's all my control. Everything you see and read, it's all my control. What you read, what you eat, where you sleep, who you read, the things you see in movies, TV, anything you think is free. It's all my control, all my control. Yeah, it's all my control. MK Ultra, let's go. Messages subliminal. It's all my control. Yeah, it's all my control. Everything you see and read, it's all my control. Everything you see and read, it's all my control. Books we teach, those rules we preach, is it really free speech? Or is it all just my control? Is everything really my control? All my control. Yeah, it's all my control. MK Ultra, let's go. Messages subliminal. It's all my control. Yeah, it's all my control. Is everything really my control?
What about the youth today? What about drugs today? What about corruption? Corruption of the morals of our youth. The CIA is the biggest drug dealer in America. It has been for years. You want documentation on the drugs being flown in plastic bags in the body cavities of the dead GI? Look at Time Magazine, January 1, 1970. What's going on in America today? Their plot, their plan, their conspiracy remains invisible. The Black Rose is the code word for this. It's a clandestine group of U.S. government operatives, primarily the CIA, which has for many years run illegal drugs and arms operations in both Southeast Asia via the Golden Triangle and the Middle East via the Golden Crescent, funded by the British socialist-based Russell Trust Drug Cartel. The Black Rose's current chairman and co-founder is an individual known as the White Rose, or GHWB, a known bisexual pedophile and CFR Council on Foreign Relations conspirator. These are the people that run the world. These are the Illuminati. It's very simple.
Hello and happy Thursday, or as I like to call it, Practice Friday. You are at the Creative Chaos Stream, a stream that is dedicated to putting a spotlight on fascinating people creating fantastic things outside the mainstream. And I've got a great guest for you tonight. But first, I'd like to thank sound scientist, aka Paranoid American, for being the opening house band tonight. I'm kind of obsessed with the Bigfoot song. I think I've probably at this point listened to it about 40 times. So thank you so much, Thomas, for making that awesome music with a little help from AI. And then I just wanted to say what is up to chat. I've got somebody in Rumble. Jim Bone, you're supposed to be on YouTube with us. Move over to YouTube if you like, or stay on Rumble and be lonely in the chat, unless, of course, our somewhat regular over on Rumble comes over, Aaron Moriarty. And then over on Pilled, we've got TGM checking in. And I think for the first time, I'm seeing this username on Pilled is Zero or Die Loser. Zero or Die Loser. If I said that wrong, which I probably did, I apologize. And Movies America checking in, one of our affiliates that pushes Flip City Magazine over on their channel. What's up, guy? And looks like our guest tonight checked in over on YouTube along with the Devastator, Flatus, Assfire. Thank you for making me say Assfire. And our friends Madness Comic Network checking in, which, by the way, I think it's on Saturday, this show is reposted on the Madness Comic Network as a rerun for anybody that likes Creative Chaos and wants to view it again. Go check it out over on Madness Comic Network. And then I also see Joe King Lee. After that music, I'm joining Scientology. That's the way to do it. I think one of the musicians' jokes is they are a sponsor of this show. So yeah, Scientology sponsors Creative Chaos. Just kidding. It's Flip City Magazine, the most wonderful magazine in the entire world. It's kind of like Mad Magazine. I think it's been described as Mad Magazine on crack. This is our latest cover, volume 21, and we bill it as the most incendiary issue yet, and it's very fire themed. And we encourage you, don't burn yourself, burn this magazine. And what we're doing tonight is I dug back, way back into our archives of promos, and I found this one that makes me laugh from 2020 promoting our second edition. And let's take a look at it. It's silly.
Flip City, new issue June 12th, flipcitymag.com.
Can't believe that is over 4 years old now. That's crazy. We're in our 5th year publishing. And just to show you a little bit of the difference between 2020 and now, this was the edition that we were, ew, yuck, look, it's Bill Gates. Sorry, got a little ADD there. This was the one that we were promoting back in 2020. And of course, this was at the height of COVID. Am I going to get banned from YouTube for saying COVID? I don't know. And we were publishing in black and white at the time. And in fact, part of the show tonight, we're going to be reading a piece from this magazine. It is still funny and relevant, but check out what we're doing now. We've got full wraparound covers. The entire magazine is full color. we're kind of proud of being able to continue self-publishing kind of savage satire things that would get us banned, even maybe even still from Twitter. And look, oops, wrong way. We even included a promotional, not a promotional, an inspirational poster as the centerfold in this beautiful magazine. We suggest if you want to keep one to collect, just get 2 subscriptions. Keep one to collect, and then the other one you can pull out the posters. We've done maybe, I think, 5 pull out posters by now. So anyway, that's kind of the difference between 2020 and now. Full color, glossy. We're really proud to still be alive in this economy. Head over to flipcitymag.com and check us out. You can even check out a free magazine if you don't know what we are and don't believe we're very funny. The free magazine's pretty funny, and I think we'll sell you on it to come back and actually buy it. Plus, it's affordable. So again, that's flipcitymag.com. Check us out and come back and buy from us so we can survive the economy and keep publishing independently. All right, and I don't believe my sidekick is coming tonight. Bruce, Batman, if you're out there still healing from your neck surgery, hope to hear from you soon. All right. So, something that I rely on Batman to do for me is ask everybody to like, share, and subscribe so we can build creative chaos and hopefully also build the Flip City clout so we can give other smaller creators hands up to help fight the culture war and make really, really great stuff because we know who has a stranglehold on that. So, like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification over on YouTube. It helps with the algorithm, is what I've heard. All right, let's bring in our guest. Tonight, our guest is Igor Chakal, and he is a freelance comic book and cover artist for 4 years. He's also the lead artist for Ripaverse and has worked for Insane Comics, ECV Press, Killer Comics Inc., and several independent writers through this period, including Flip City friend Paranoid American. Igor has also contributed cartoons to Being a Libertarian. And if this wasn't enough to show Igor is winning at life, he also has a new baby. Let's all collectively say, "Aw," and bring Igor in. Did I do okay in your bio?
Yeah, that was a very good introduction.
Okay.
Thanks.
Hey, cause I didn't see the slideshow, so I don't know if everybody got to see the baby.
I don't.
Slideshow
don't
was not there.
Oh, okay. No biggie. You guys just got to see my dumb face talk about Igor.
It's a cute baby, though. Everyone has to believe that.
I agree. And if you want to see the baby, you can go to Igor's Instagram, which I linked in the description of the video. Which, by the way, Igor, just to let you know, I told people in the description of the video where to find you on X and Instagram. I hope that's okay.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's very kind of it. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for coming. I've been waiting to meet you. How'd you? Okay, one thing when reading, I think I grabbed that you've been doing this comic book stuff for 4 years, and you seem to have gotten a lot of work. But we also work with a lot of artists that seem to really struggle to find any work. I just have to know, how do you do it? How do you get work?
Yeah, so 4 years is just like the most recent stuff. Like for Paranoid, it's been 4 years, but actually I started working back in 2014. My first freelance work for Killer Comics. It's one of the bigger indie publishers from Australia, and I started working with them back in 2014. So it's been like 10 years. And I started working with them. I had just dropped out of college. I used to study visual art at the University of São Paulo in Brazil. Then I took a year of a scholarship to study illustration in England at the University of Derby. And when I came back, I didn't want to go back to the university in Brazil because well, we can get into that, but it's like very uh doctrine heavy. You have to follow certain rules. I wasn't like going like as well as I wanted in that regard because I wanted to make comics and they don't think comic book are an art form. Like it's like kind of highbrow university mentality. So you have to produce like fine arts and stuff. So I just wanted to work, and a friend of mine from the UK sent me a link and was like, "This Australian comic book company is really cool. They make like horror comics, kind of violent, greedy, and I that was like my thing back then. That's why he sent me it, and I was like, yeah, let's send a message to them on Facebook. I
Hmm.
sent them a message with the few pages of portfolio that I had back then. And then after a month or two, they requested the cover and a few filler artwork. So like 6 pages because their artist had dropped. And then when I made the 6 pages for them, they liked it. So they turned those six into a full issue. So I had like my first issue for them, like Killer Comics Volume 4, I would say. It's been 10 years, so I don't remember quite so well. I
Okay.
still have it on my shelf back there. But yeah, that's how I started, and then like one thing led to another. One client suggested me to other people, and that's it. That's how I got there.
All right. So basically getting your foot in the door, doing some work, and then being a good enough artist or, good to your clients and word of mouth.
Yeah, yeah, and like being on time, which I think it's very like important and people look over it a lot in the in this space. Everyone's late to everything. Like artists have have this like habit of dropping projects midway through. So the people who hire are always afraid of hiring an artist and pay upfront. So it
You
becomes like this circle of
that's really interesting because that's something we've really been lucky with, especially doing this for 5 years, not paying that well. Um, yeah, but I don't know what it is, what kind of like grace of God we've earned, um, that we've never really had anybody not complete a project. We
that's
extend
wonderful.
deadlines for them, but that's the thing too. Our mutual friend, Paranoid American, says he just that happens to him over and over. People
Yeah,
will drop out
yeah.
and ghost
Yeah,
him.
I had to communicate with him like back when I was working on Chosen One too, because Eric hired me like full time and the company just blew. And I was midway through like Chosen One, number two. So I knew that I wouldn't have time for issue number three. And I just had like this direct talk to him. I was like, yeah, I can finish this, but I won't be able to do anything other than that. And he was thankful like, because I didn't wait and he had time to go look for another artist and try a different thing. And I was like, dude, this is like the bare minimum that I can do like as an artist because as a comic book artist, you're kind of you should expect if your work is good enough that the next issue is gonna have your artwork because readers don't like when the artist changes midway through. So you have to be honest with your clients as much as they are with you. Like as clear communication is very important in the art world, and I think it's like an underrated quality for most artists.
Now, since you've been working in comics, do you have a favorite project that you've worked on to date? Like just one that stands out in your mind as like, oh my gosh, this was the funnest.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing my first project for Killer Comics because it's a lot of gory stuff, like weird angles, and I love that type of thing. But I think the one that I left the most was with Paranoid American. Like Chosen One, number one was insane because I wasn't very versed on drawing comedy and there
Uh-huh.
was like this crazy story that revolved around an artifact that comes and give powers to these like podcasters, like three podcasters, and they have like these weird powers that don't like it's not even like tier 3 X-Men level. It's like the bottom of the like you're scraping the bottom for the weirdest powers ever. And
Okay.
then like yeah, like it's insane. If you guys haven't checked out like the Chosen One, you need to do that because like the script is insane. And that was a lot of fun because they gave me a lot of freedom to do like weird shit. And so I'm sorry. But yeah.
Oh yeah, you feel free. You can say whatever you want on this stream. I don't
Yeah.
think we usually drop too many F bombs. I don't know. Once in a while I get on a roll. But so yeah, just regarding the chosen one. So I know one of the podcasters is Sam Tripoli. Now, did you
Mm.
know any of the podcasters when you started, or did you start watching any of their podcasts?
Yeah, I started following Sam Tripoli because of the comic, but I knew him before. And the
Hmm.
same with like Alex Stein, yeah, who is on issue number 2 and actually has a foil cover. He just shared the other day. It was really nice seeing it because of the foil cover was made by me. And I knew them, but I didn't follow them up close. And then I started going to that rabbit hole, and I never stopped listening to them after that because it's very fun. And it was like I was doing research, looking at them, laughing, and then drawing like the silly cartoons. It was a very weird time in my life.
Hey, I've just got to say, I believe you have a fan that you might know in chat over on YouTube, King Lee, and
Yes, I do. Yeah.
and and he says it's the hair.
Oh, that's the answer to what I how I got my first job. That could be it. Yeah, maybe that could be it.
And
Maybe
then
that's
Volk,
how I got every job. Like
yeah,
it's the hair. Like people look at the hair and like, yeah, I'm gonna
they're
hire
like,
this guy.
that looks like it smells nice. I think I'm gonna hire this guy.
God forbid I ever get like bald or something like that then, because I'm gonna be unemployed the next day.
Yeah, and then I was just gonna say Vulcan Live said righteous hair over there.
Yeah, I don't know. Uh, they know because I know they're Rippaverse fans, and they know
Uh,
Carol pretty well because she's very well known in between like our fans. But she's the one that bugs me the most about my hair because she wants I do portraits of everyone that we interview and the like for cards and everything, like signature emails, everyone has a cartoon of themselves. It's something that you get as you join the Rippaverse crew. You get like a portrait drawn by me,
oh, that's
which is,
nice.
yeah, it's both a gift and a punishment. But Carol like demanded that I drew my hair like flowy in the air, and it has
Okay.
become like kind of an in joke. My wife would take a photo of me like I was horseback riding back like when we were on our honeymoon, and she
Uh-huh.
took a photo and I'm on this horse and the wind is blowing my hair,
Oh,
and
you got to tell
immediately
me
sent to
you were
Carol.
also you have to tell me you were also shirtless.
No, I wasn't. God, that would be awful. Poor horse. That would be.
Well, so since you did bring up working for Rippaverse, I did have questions. So what is a lead artist at Rippaverse? I mean, what's your purpose there?
Well, like I said, I draw like portraits, but I also draw like shirts. Like this one that I'm wearing, like was made by me. So I draw shirts for the Rippaverse alongside Kanan White, who is another artist, a much more experienced artist than me. I draw back covers, I draw additional art for social media, like everything that you see on social media was made by me, pretty much everything. Like we have other artists like Marcos Rios, who is our concept artist, and Kanan that I've mentioned before. But most of the artwork that you've seen was done by me. Social media posts, most are done by me as well. Posters, bookmarks. I've done like pretty much everything. So if they need an illustration for something, I'm the first one that they're gonna ask. And then if I don't have like a slot or if I'm too busy because there's always like a lot of work because I work full time for them, then they will like delegate to other people. Or maybe I do like it has happened that I do line work and someone else colors. We've had like Eric Weathers, who was our letterer, color some of my work as well. I do anything like YouTube art for thumbnails, for the video themselves. I work pretty closely with our amazing video editor Jordan Crow, and she's always like requesting me illustrations, motion graphic, like stuff that she can animate. So I do like art in general. Like I
All
don't know.
right. So
Last year I counted like more than 100 illustrations for them. So that's like
wow.
colorful
Now,
colored illustration.
yeah, no, that's really interesting because I was curious, like, okay, what is the lead artist for? And you answered that question beautifully,
Oh, okay.
by the
That's
way.
good
So
because
so basically they throw things at you.
yeah, a lot of things. Like I'm constantly like working behind schedule because there's always something going on and that's one thing as an artist, like you asked how did you get your first job? That's another characteristic that's good for comic book artists or people who are aspiring to do. This is one of the illustrated mediums, like games, comics. Comics is probably the one that require the faster work, uh, like put out work on a faster basis
Mhm.
mainly because you're drawing so much stuff on a single comic book page. So you need to be fast. You need to know when something is done and just move on. So I pride myself on being kind of fast. So they can request stuff like on a day or two, and I'll deliver.
Yeah.
Uh, Even if the quality suffers a little bit sometimes.
You know, I personally believe, and I think it's maybe because we've done so much work with our lead parody artist
Hmm.
that if you're a good artist, you're still going to be putting out quality work by adjusting your style in one way or another,
Yeah.
um, to make it to be able to do it in the timeline, because
Yeah.
we're tremendously deadline driven because we're publishing quarterly, and
Mm.
I've seen when our parody artist can put in as many hours as he wants on something, and how, like, wow, you're actually a really fantastic painter and all this, and then comparing it to his fast parody work that he does for us, which is still stellar and wonderful, but you can definitely see that this is a quicker, a more quickly done thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, I mean, I don't think quality should suffer. It's just kind of a different style.
Yeah, yeah. And as you get more experience, you learn to like adapt yourself into those different like you can say even styles, right? Like you're gonna render and work on something and refine it as much as possible,
Yeah.
but you always have a deadline, so you have to follow that. Like that's the goal, right? Is to hit the deadline.
Yeah, and I get it, but because I don't, I think I only semi understand because I am not an illustrator. I'm actually quite terrible at it, and I think it's why I have so much fun having so many artists come on my show and work with the artists in Flip City Magazine. Is you guys are a bunch of weirdos. It's like herding cats, by the way.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you, but I love you.
yeah.
uh,
Yeah, we can be weird, right? Like you meet all sorts of people like when you're making art, which like kind of makes me sad when you go into like the details of how uniform people want artists to think, because the art community can be rough on people who think outside the box, but that's how you get the best art, right? Like it's from people who think outside the box, who don't conform. And then when you look like the experience that I had at the university, everyone wants you to think the same way they do. And if you deviate from that, they're gonna chastise you. They're gonna make you feel bad for having the wrong thoughts. Like that is something that's counterproductive to art, in my opinion.
oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, that seems just kind of like a newer, just how our culture is working these days, where if
Yeah,
somebody has wrong thought,
yeah,
then you're banished and everything. I mean, I don't think that existed 10 years ago. Everybody could get along. I mean, you might
yeah.
goof on each other for your dumb opinions or,
Yeah,
things that you
exactly.
didn't. But yeah, it's so
You wouldn't
sad.
lose a job over it, right? Like it's like
Right. Well, and another thing that I saw is that you've done work for the volunteerist
yes,
series.
yes, I have for Jack. Like awesome. I didn't
Yeah.
know you knew him. Yeah, he's a such a great guy.
I actually
Uh,
have not met Jack yet.
really? Oh, you should.
Yes.
Like he's
Oh,
so.
I think I should too, because we have multiple friends, but I've DM'd him a couple of times and he won't get back to me. And I'm like,
Oh, I'm gonna bug
mm,
him about that.
you should. You should say, you know what, you should go on Creative Chaos. I think it was a while ago that I invited him on the show, but I would really like to meet him because I find voluntarism very fascinating. And I know he's like practically like a spokesperson, it seems like, online. Oh,
Yeah,
I
he
saw
is.
I saw a kitty and maybe a wife.
Yes, and the kitty like just took down my headset back like before the stream started, and now my camera, which is great. Like,
Now, is that your only pet?
no, I have two cats actually. I have that one and another one, and I have a small dog that stays with my mom because she doesn't get along with the cat.
Oh,
So, yeah,
really?
yeah. And she's a small dog, and I'm afraid of like the cat hurting her or something like that.
That's really funny because I've had a roommate before that had a small dog and was very afraid of our cat, even though the cat never really
Right.
bothered the dog, but
Yeah.
just he was afraid because it was one of those French bulldogs with the bulgy eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dog is like a pincher, a small one, and they she has like kind of bulgy eyes, and I'm always afraid of like a claw or something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, but that's it. I'm sorry about that, about the cat.
Oh, it's okay. I always love pet visits and baby visits on any stream I go on as a guest or so that was another thing. I'm like, if you want to bring the baby in at all for whatever reason, need to feed
Oh,
it,
she's
it's fine. You
sleeping. I'm
can.
sorry.
No,
Yeah,
it's
she's already sleeping.
yeah, I'm not saying it's required, but I'm
Yeah.
totally fine with baby visits. Yes, the cat of
Yeah,
destruction.
that's my cat. That's the cat of destruction.
And just to let everybody know, that over on X, we have a promotion for this show, and Joe King Lee posted the picture. I think it
Oh,
was,
nice.
they said,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah,
So for
awesome.
anybody that's interested, you guys can check
Yes.
that out over on the Twitter X side.
Flowing
Um,
hair portrait.
Yeah, and just real quick, I just wanted to say what's up to CB Joey 321 over on the Pilled side, and it looks like Movies America took off early. And thank you so much. And I have to thank Movies America whenever we hook up again, for sending a raid over. That could be why we got a few viewers over on Pilled.
Right.
And still Jim Bone over on Rumble. Well, so after seeing that you've done work for Paranoid American and Jack Lloyd, I had a question. Like, are you a voluntarist or a like a like libertarian? It doesn't matter to
Yes.
me.
I think I would say yes. I'm always afraid of answering that question because there's always someone that's gonna say like, "Oh, you're not truly a libertarian" or something like that.
Oh
But I do
gosh.
believe like on those principles. Those are not the only principles that reign over my life in general, but those are very important. I think there is room for moral values that go beyond like the political realm. I think sometimes that's the main problem that I have with the tag libertarian, is that sometimes people attach too much value to everything that libertarians believe in the sense that it goes over anything that you find immoral, and you can justify by saying like, oh, no one's getting hurt, so everything is okay. I'm like, okay, I'm not saying other people have to live life the way that I think, but I'm gonna live life in a way that I think moral, that I find like uh acceptable for my soul, for my like values, even though
Hmm.
like I wouldn't be hurting anyone if I did said thing or something like that. So I would consider myself a libertarian. I align myself pretty close to what Jack believes in. He has a much bigger understanding of the whole thing than I do. He and Fo like are avid readers. They study this. I just like I've read a couple of books. I follow along.
Yeah.
I try to
It's
behave myself in a way that like doesn't hurt my own feelings and my own moral. Like that's basically it.
right, without treading on other people's rights and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that to me is what defines like kind of a libertarian, because we don't have that culture in Brazil. I'm Brazilian from the accent, everyone could tell, I think. But yeah, we don't have that culture here. It's something very new to think about like individualism, voluntarism, and those are not values that are on in our constitution. Our constitution is state centered and not individual centered. So the power emanates from the state to the people and not the other way around.
Right.
And that makes people kind of crazy. Like Latin America in general has like kind of this uh, they love they love socialism. That's the way that I can put it. Like they love a dictatorship. That's what I like to say. Because if they believe in something, like people in general have this feeling that something they believe can be applied to other people's lives, and they find that acceptable, while
Right.
like half of America doesn't think that way, right? So
Well, that's
it's
really
very different.
interesting. And you know what? I'm gonna just cut you off there because I want to
Hmm.
continue this this conversation on the other side of mansplain because
Okay.
I am interested in knowing a little bit more about this culture and how you came across it. So, Cause, can we go into the mansplain segment, please?
Mansplaining is about giving back to the community. I personally think it should be called man sharing.
All right. So you're going to man share with me because I
Oh God.
find it fascinating because I did have, you know, I had inklings for who you worked with and just kind of seeing what you post on social media, you know, that you are a freedom minded individual. You know,
Yeah.
I kind of like shirking any kind of like political labels people want to throw on you. Oh, you
Uh-huh.
think this way, so you must be a conservative or you must be a libertarian. And then you have to defend the entire party, please. You're a freedom minded individual, right? And
Yeah.
you just told me, you know, you learn about this stuff and you might be like a weird Brazilian because, you know, everybody likes the state and all that. First, I'm interested in you mansplaining to me how you came across these topics and
Hmm.
I am assuming the internet, but also interested in why you believe the majority of Brazilians like socialism.
Right. For the last question, I can just refer you to our last election where we had like the leftist winning by 54%, if I'm not mistaken. So more than half the country believes that socialism is a good thing because he explicitly said more than once that he's a socialist, and he was convicted of a lot of crimes, our president, before
Mm-hmm.
that, and got away by a technicality, and then he got elected anyway because he promised a lot of free stuff. Like there is a lot of complexity in it because Brazil is a large country, much like America is. So there is like a whole variety of problems across the country, and like the leftists tend to discourse about that more, about the social issues, art in general, culture. So they get those votes, while conservatives don't do such a good job at that. So I think we have a history of also like relating to America. We have a history of like in the 60s we had the dictatorship that was kind of right leaning, and they were installed by the military with the help of America. So the
Mm.
United States helped our dictatorship stay in power, and it was kind of ruthless. Like you would get in jail for being a leftist, you would get exiled for being a leftist artist. So that kind of make people think about the leftists and the communists as heroes because they were being persecuted, right, by the state. So it left that feeling that if you wanted to be a revolutionary, if you wanted to go against like oppression, you had to be leftist, and that's still true to this day. Like people don't think about the state as an oppressor unless it's a right-wing state. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, so
Well,
that's kind of like
well,
a simple answer for that, I think.
yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, we don't have all night to go into the
Yeah.
entire history of Brazil and all that, but well,
No
that's a
one would be
question.
interested.
That's a question too, because I'm sure you know about, the United States election and the most recent election, and I
Yeah,
think a good majority of people believe it was stolen, all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Now, do you believe in the 54, the new president leader winning by 54%, or do you believe it's just because there was that kind of support behind him, or do
Yeah.
you believe you don't have fair elections?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. The country was pretty divided. Uh, but we use that's my conspiracy theory. I saw someone on chat saying that like I'm light on that stuff and I don't believe anything, but that's one that I believe in Brazil because we use electrical urns for depositing the votes. So people don't deposit the actual vote, they just vote by typing on a computer.
Mm-hmm.
And the discourse in Brazil for more than 20 years is that that's the safest method in the whole world instead of like a ballot or something like that, a piece of paper that you can put into something. But no other country uses the same urn that we use, the same electronical device that we use for accounting votes and for voting. So that makes me think that it's easy to mess around with. So
Mm-hmm.
if you say that, if someone from Brazil gets this interview and sees that I'm saying this, it's like I'm denying the election or something like that, which is fine, I think.
Well,
But
yeah, I mean, what would happen if they found this and they're like, whoa,
if I
well,
was,
he's
yeah, if I
talking to this
was,
crazy American. We need to
yeah,
go
yeah, yeah,
take
that's it,
him,
yeah,
or
yeah. These people don't believe in elections at all. Like that's how it goes. But yeah, I don't know if it was like as clear a win as everyone thinks in Brazil. Like it was pretty close, but I don't think it was a win at all. Like that's my theory for Brazil at least. We didn't get like a fair election, mainly because we got a lot of censorship. Elon Musk revealed that we got a lot of meddling from social media in our election. And I think the same happened with America, like with the laptop story and everything else. I don't know. Well,
kind of seems
who
like
am
a
I to say?
worldwide problem to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It seems like everything operates the same way once like the interests align. It's almost like we have like overseeing lords or something like
That
that.
this is the true globalism.
Yeah, you
Actually,
see, I can do
everybody
conspiracy
equally
theory as
sees
well.
that everyone has a giant boot on their neck.
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
that's so I guess maybe we're just that one step closer to the globalism that we all don't want.
Yeah, like yeah. That's what I think. Like like I said, I can be soft on conspiracy theory because I think those are not even conspiracies anymore. Like it's pretty clear, like
Eh.
from from the pandemic and everything.
Did you see this? George Washington X says the way they punish dissidents in Brazil is no soccer.
Yeah, that's a good way to to do that. We do love soccer. Even I don't love soccer at all, but I love playing it. So it's like it's insane. I don't watch it at all, but if you give me a ball, like I'm gonna play it and injure myself while doing that.
Just
So,
stretch out before that, then you'll be fine.
oh, that won't help. You have no idea how much skill I lack. Like
Okay,
I'm gonna
but you
manage
still
to hurt
play.
myself. Yeah, but I do.
Listen, he's a soft hand artist, everybody.
Yeah, I spend the day sitting on my chair, and then I go out for something and injure myself for like a month or something. That's basically what I do.
You trip over the naughty cat, sprain
Yeah,
your
exactly.
ankle.
Something like that. I'm going out for soccer and then I trip on a cat and fall and then don't even get to the field.
Well, it's really interesting because I think you said a few times, that you're soft on conspiracy. I don't know exactly what that meant. Like, can you? Well, we're gonna
I
we're gonna we're gonna go
Yeah,
into
no, I can
conspiracy.
try to explain that
You know what? Let's
because
let's just go into conspiracy corner because
okay,
we're gonna talk
that
conspiracy
this is the
anyway.
segment that I'm afraid. I don't want to be
Oh,
fun,
don't
but
be
we can try.
afraid. Don't be afraid.
We can try.
I wanna live with a conspiracy girl. I could be prepping the rest of my life with a conspiracy girl.
Those weren't aliens.
All right, so you're afraid, and I told you not to be afraid, but you actually really should be, because here's how it's gonna go. Here's how it's gonna go. So last week, I created a conspiracy spin wheel because some people were having trouble coming up with a conspiracy to talk about on their own. So you've
Cool.
got a choice here.
All
You
right.
can start talking about any kind of conspiracy you want, but
Okay.
if you take too long, we're bringing up the wheel, and you're going to be
Okay.
given a conspiracy.
All
And you
right.
can be
Yeah.
soft on it if you want. I don't care.
Okay. I'll probably be soft because I'm a very skeptical person.
Skeptical.
Yeah, that's the way that I know there is a K in there, but I didn't know how it was. But yeah, a K sound. Uh, but I tend to be like very skeptical, but I would say like in the recent years I've started believing on the soft stuff like aliens and stuff like that, which was something that was unbelievable to me. I was like, yeah, those videos are all fake, and then you're like, okay, but there is like this one seems real, and then that one, and then you start like going down the rabbit hole, and like I was saying about
You just couldn't help
centripetal, like
yourself.
yeah, like why wouldn't I believe that? It's much cooler to believe in this. Like, doesn't hurt anyone.
It's true. It does not hurt anyone.
It's like, no,
Um,
yeah, the world is a much cooler place if that's the case.
yeah. Oh man. Okay.
What?
All right. So do you want to talk aliens, or do you want to spin the conspiracy wheel? Because you get 3 spins
Oh,
with the
nice.
yeah, so you can choose the first, or you can choose the second, or if you spin a third time, you're stuck with that one. Do you want to try the wheel? I love the wheel personally.
Yeah, no, the wheel sounds fun. Yeah,
Okay,
let's go
let's
for the
do the
wheel.
wheel, cause.
All right.
All right, let's spin it and see what he's stuck with the first time. But you can pass if you want. This is interesting.
All right. All right. This is a
Because
cool one.
I think it is, because you were talking about how US helped,
Yeah.
basically keep. You want to talk
Yeah.
US military
Yeah,
industrial
of course.
complex?
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
All
Talk.
right. I know very little about this, but I can speculate on a lot of stuff
Okay.
because we had like 3 or 4 cases in Brazil where like very known people have been murdered during like the dictatorship, like I was saying, and under like crazy circumstances, like oh his car blew up because wires weren't like connected properly, and it's like, dude, you never hear about a car blowing up because of wire problems. That's
Uh-huh.
something that I've never heard before. And then they see a lot of black suit people leaving the airport on the same day, and they came back like a week before, and then you see like uh black unplated cars, that's the rumor at least, following this reporter that was pretty against like the dictatorship, and then those black suited guys leave the next day, like that the car blew up, and I'm like, all right, this sounds like an American thing because Brazilians wouldn't be so clean cut. Like they wouldn't be able to like just blow the car and everything's like I know my Brazilians, like they wouldn't do that.
You're like, you lazy
There's no soccer
MFers, you
ball
can't
there.
do that. You idiots.
There's no soccer ball near that car. Like there's no way a Brazilian did that. So that's just one of the three. I don't remember the details of the next two deaths, but they're all like pretty almost like clear that CIA had some involvement in it. Like it's pretty hard to say no to that. And then you look at the stuff that happens in America, and it's like, all right, they have so much money every day. Like every year, the budget is increased. They they can't reveal everything. Like recently, the people who were talking about the CIA killing Kennedy got kind of vindicated because now I saw a poll that like a lot of people are believing that the CIA killed the president. I was like, yeah, this is the crazy talk that I was hearing about when I
Yeah,
was young. And now it's
right.
like, all right, that sounds like something they would do for one reason or another. So yeah.
All
Want to help me
right.
out with this? Like I want to hear the
I mean,
rumors that
gosh, I mean, it's almost like common knowledge.
hmm
Everybody, it's just going back to the whole JFK assassination. That's what you were talking about, right? It's
yeah,
basically like everybody agrees. It was an inside job.
yeah.
Kennedy was assassinated. The story that is fed to the public as the official story. Nobody believes. Um, and did you know this? That the
Mm.
CIA invented the term conspiracy theorist to start throwing at people that were questioning the JFK assassination back then?
Yeah, I knew that because I love the language like gymnastics. Every time I hear something new, I'm always saying to my wife like I hate euphemisms because that's exactly what they do when they want you to feel bad for something you said or they want you to like think differently about something. People think that language doesn't matter, but that's the first thing that they go after is like changing the way you say something, the way something sounds. Like, oh, this sounds bad now because that gives me power over you. And that happens over and over again. Like, Portuguese is such a rich language, and they try that all the time in Portuguese. Like, they adapt English stuff to our language just to make you sound stupider. They adapt, like, words that we didn't use before or that we used to use a lot, like expressions, and then they turn it into something that's racist or that's like
Really?
homophobic.
Can you give
Yeah.
us an example?
Well, I have my favorite one. Well, we do have genders in Portuguese.
Hmm.
So we have female and male genders, and then we have neutral, which comes from the Latin. And in Latin, like the male way of speaking in Old Portuguese got dropped, and then the neutral turned into male. So the way we would say a word that ends in an O is mainly male. And I know now a word that ends in an A is mainly female. So it works the same way as in German, right? So you have words that are female or male, and they don't really have a gender. So house, for instance, in Portuguese is casa, which is female. Library is biblioteca, the same as in Spanish, so it's female. La biblioteca, a biblioteca. And they are trying really hard to make that neutral without understanding that neutral is actually male. Because if you look back at the history of the language, the neutral way was adopted as the male way. And the male form of speaking was dropped, like no one uses that anymore. So they have like that type of stuff going on, and they try to get other words like we have a word denegrir, which sounds awful in English if you go through like each syllable, but
Okay.
actually means to slander someone or something, like to talk bad about that. And since it has the word like negro which in Portuguese is the respectful way of calling African, like Brazilians, let's say, is the
Okay.
respectful way of doing that. And they want to change that because they say that it's a
That's offensive in
disrespectful way.
English.
Yeah, yeah. No, they say it's offensive to black people because it's a slander. It's a way of saying like denigre or something like that. It doesn't make sense because the word doesn't have a connection to that word. But since it sounds the same, they want to put everything together. They want to change that. Like doesn't make any sense. Like Portuguese is such a rich language.
Yeah, and I think they just don't want us to be able to communicate at all
Exactly.
or
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
anything,
And
you
that's
know.
not even a conspiracy theory because that's the modus operandi of every place in the world, right? Like the
Well, see, now that's the thing. That's why I love Conspiracy Corner is um a lot of this is not conspiracy theory. It's all provable, it's all out
yeah,
there, all that. But we're all crazy conspiracy theorists because we want to talk about it and point it out.
yeah,
So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, that is the purpose of Conspiracy Corner. So, see, I told you there was no reason to be afraid.
All right. I hope I didn't disappoint anyone.
I
But
thought it was fascinating, and in fact, Cosmic Grandpa during this in YouTube was saying, it's new speak from
yeah, yeah,
1984.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
That Orwell knew exactly the tactics and everything that was happening. And this is pretty clear that someone took his book and said, "Oh, all right, this is a good blueprint for how to control a population," and they're applying.
I think it went the other way around. Actually, I think the blueprint existed, and then
Yeah.
people had insider information and
Oh yeah.
decided to fictionalize it as a
Yeah.
cautionary tale.
Yeah,
You
he was
know.
a leftist, so he knew more than anyone, like Orwell knew more than anyone what he had to do, like what people were doing, because he still had like some morals, right? Like when he criticized that, even though he believed politically, like in communism or something like that.
Yeah. Well, all right. I think we're done with Conspiracy Corner for tonight. And I just have to say, Igor, because I think backstage you had mentioned, you're a little iffy on your English. Your English is fantastic. Anybody that's out there in chat, please, if you think Igor's English is fantastic, drop a one. Just, to give him more
Oh God.
encouragement. Because
Yeah.
you're fantastic. You said the word euphemism.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
You
but
know,
that's
I,
you see, but that's something that's unfair for Americans. I had this experience when I lived in England, where I would say something was phenomenal or something like that, and people were like, "Oh, using fancy words," and I was like, "Dude, this is the most normal word I could use in Portuguese because it's the same word but in English, so it's easy for me to do
oh,
that."
okay.
You see? So euphemism is something that we say a lot in Portuguese when we want to say that someone's not like using the words that they want. Just
Uh-huh.
kind of going around and that's the same word in English. It's
Is it
just that
exactly the same? Do you say it
yeah,
euphemism?
euphemismo. So we
Mo.
end in an O and it's a male word because of that. Or euphemism. So yeah.
Now, oh, you know what? Real quick though, are they using are they trying to push the whole X thing like Latinx?
No,
You
we
know.
hate that. Like, yeah,
Okay.
we hate that. Yeah,
Everybody
Latin
across the
people
board
hate
hates
that.
it.
Yeah.
That's
They
good.
do.
That's good to know.
In Portuguese, they try to use the E as a gender neutral because we have some words that don't have a gender and they end in an E. We even had like just the other day a funny thing because the leftist candidate prefe- for mayor of São Paulo, which is our biggest city, he was at an event, a leftist event. He's a socialist, and they were singing the national anthem. And we have a bit that goes filhos, which means sons and daughters, but it's a male word, filhos, but it means both genders. And they changed it to filhas, which would make it neutral, and it was the
Okay.
national anthem, and that goes against the constitution because the national anthem is a symbol of the country, and you can just change that in an official. So they are now being sued because they did that, and because leftists love to do that type of stuff.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. Do you feel like you are a Brazilian patriot, that you love your country, but the government sucks? I mean, how do you feel about that and the people? And, because I'm a freaking American patriot,
Yeah,
you know?
of course you are. You should be. Your history is amazing. Yeah, I kind of am. I'm proud of the culture that Brazil has. Uh, we're very diverse, so it depends a lot on the state that you go. The state that I live in is called Minas Gerais, which we joke is kind of like the Texas of our country,
Oh, that's
because
cool.
we have a lot of rural areas. We have a lot of good food, fat food, like we have barbecues everywhere. We have a lot
Nice.
of so we have a lot of that culture, like that countryside culture. Even the big cities have like that kind of mentality where like you help your neighbor, you respect like other people's privacy. We're usually like much more quieter than other states. But we also have a lot of problems in terms of culture. So I would say I'm proud of being Brazilian, but the way the country behaves sometimes kind of lets me down over and over again, because when you think they're gonna do something, when you think Brazilians are gonna zig, they zag, right? Like you think they're gonna follow like more freedom, but they just rely on the state. They fall back on the mentality of like, oh, the state needs to give me everything because it has done so for so long. We have like this history of calling presidents father and mother, which
Oh,
shows how
gross.
badly, yeah, that's so gross, right? Which shows how badly ingrained that is into our
Yeah,
culture, like that feeling of like rely on the state as your dad or your mother.
yeah.
So yeah, that's not good.
Now, have you ever visited the United States?
No, not yet. I haven't. I got my tourist visa last year. I was really
Okay.
afraid of being denied, but I have to say you guys need to work on your process because the guy asked me like two questions and then I answered and he didn't ask for a single paper proving that I was like telling the truth. He just gave me like the tourist visa. I was afraid of this for the last 10 years because it's
Yeah.
really expensive. But then they just gave me the paper. I was like, yeah, all right.
That's
Anyone can get in.
interesting. Well, guess what? If you came, if he saw you with face tattoos, you wouldn't have had to answer any questions. And he would
Oh,
have
it
just
would
given you the
if I had
papers.
priors as well, like I guess like oh, I got arrested for this. Oh, yep, right in.
Yes, like, please, welcome, sir. And would you like any welfare?
I hope you stay for a while. Yeah, no, but I want to visit. My wife got to go because she works for a gaming company last year. She went to Miami, but I couldn't go. But I really want to visit like Texas, the Rippaverse
Yeah.
HQ and
Well,
everything.
that's a thing. Like, I know Rippaverse is raking it in. I cannot believe they have not invited you, all expenses paid. If
Yeah.
I'm gonna give everybody shit about that. Any Rippaverse person I ever meet from now on, I'm gonna be like, dude, you haven't like paid for
Yeah,
Igor's
please do.
travel.
Please do. I
I
support that.
will.
Yes. Just don't tell them that I support that, please.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, they can only and that's the thing. If they want to know, they can watch all of Creative Chaos and be like, "Oh, there he said it." Okay.
Yes,
All
yes,
right.
yes.
All right. Well, that's a side mission for me. I'm going to make sure that you get an all expenses paid trip to the United States, not by me, but by Eric July, because he can afford it. All right. And then the way we like to close out this show, I had other questions, but they flew out of my head. I guess they weren't that important. But I gotta say, Igor, you're super fun, and I think we're gonna invite you back on like a
Oh, okay.
party stream or
Yeah.
something sometime.
Thank you. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
love to come back. Have a lot of
Um,
fun.
oh, good. I'm glad you did. That's kind of how I like to end the stream. Is like I corner people into saying they had a good time, whether they did or not.
All right.
All
I
right.
shouldn't have gone for that. God damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't
You
like to
could
be
have remained
predictable.
silent. But you're a chatty fellow. You're very chatty.
I'm actually very shy, so yeah,
Are
thanks.
you?
I work really hard on my social skills and I fail every time.
Well, I couldn't imagine you as an antisocial person, but I love leaving our stream by branding my guest with a Flip City brand.
Oh, nice.
It's not really a steaming hot, like leave a scar on you brand. All it is that you have to read some Flip City content. And I took it super easy on you tonight. Cause if we can just bring up the first slide here, and I'm going to explain to Igor what we're doing here. All right. So part of my pitch for Flip City tonight was showing issue 2. And this is a piece that was in issue 2 that still it's valid today. Plus, I chose it for you because you're a new father.
Okay.
So it's kind of a
Nice.
cautionary tale. And it's very, very easy. It's kids yesterday versus kids today. And
Okay.
there's really no words, but what I'd like you to do, because your English is so phenomenal,
Oh God.
is just kind of describe the illustration like we have a bunch of blind people
Oh
watching.
God. That's gonna be
Oh, it's
yes.
fine.
If
They're
you ask
simple little.
people to draw what I described, you're gonna get like the most absurd things ever because
Okay, that sounds
yeah.
fun too. All right,
No.
so we're gonna go into kids yesterday, kids today.
Okay.
So kids yesterday.
Kids yesterday. All right. So we have like a nice like fella just looking at the house with a dollar bill in his right hand, and there's a lawnmower to his side, and then another nice house, nice garden. I don't know if those lines are meant to be like the grass is cut or something like that.
Looks
But
that
yeah,
way.
nice trees. Like seems like a countryside house or something like that.
All right.
Yeah,
So he
that's about it.
basically
He
worked for
looks
his money, right? He cut the
yes,
lawn,
yes,
worked for
yes,
his
yes.
money.
He cut the lawn. He works for his money, which is illegal in a lot of places nowadays.
All right, let's go to the next slide. Kids
Oh, okay.
today.
Kids today is a kid, like a bald kid, looking mean as hell. He has like a gas canister, and all the nice house in front of him is on fire.
Very
Peaceful
good.
but fury, like something like that. Wasn't that the headline?
He's a
A
peaceful.
fury person.
Yes.
Fiery.
All
I don't know.
All right, let's go to kids yesterday again.
Okay, so kids yesterday. Now we have like a group of kids playing like Monopoly or something like that. A board game. They have. Oh, I forgot the name of that drawing on the cartoon on the
Oh, the
background, but
Muppets.
yeah,
It's
the
Bert and Ernie.
Muppets. Oh, but yeah, that's right. They're throwing money over. One of them is throwing money. One of them looks like glad, clapping. The other one looks kind of apprehensive. They have some dolls in a box. Picture of a panda. There's a dog sitting behind them. They're just having fun playing the game Monopoly. One is
Right.
winning, the other one seems to be losing. One seems
Okay.
bored.
This is really, you're going in depth. All right, let's see them today.
Okay. So now it's a much darker place. There's a Baphomet picture on the background, a lot of candles. Uh, the kids all have tattoos. One of them's wearing a thong. I wish I didn't see that. There's now a black cat to symbolize that everyone's doing evil shit now. And they're playing with Ouija? Is that how you say? Ouija.
Ouija. Yeah.
Ouija, yes, all right. Ouija board, the books are now like kind of satanic pentagram, magic stuff. Everyone seems evil. Side cut, like I love the haircuts. Like the haircuts change everything.
But
That's about it.
everybody's pretty much in the same position
Yeah, the same
between
position,
illustrations.
like yeah, it's between.
Yeah. That's so funny. Okay, kids yesterday. Oh, this one's
Kids
dark, by
yesterday.
the way.
All right. Yeah, really? All right. Looking forward to it then.
Oh, so
So
what are they
kids
doing?
yesterday, it's the kids playing Cowboys and Indians. I think that's the way to say
Yeah.
that. Yeah. right?
Yeah.
Is it okay to say Indians? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, now we're canceled because you said Indians.
Yeah, because in Portuguese, I don't think we're almost banishing that word in Portuguese.
No, really?
Yeah, we're about to. I feel like.
Jeez.
Yeah. So there's a kid with a gun, playing cowboy. There's a horse behind him looking like kind of scared. One of the in the foreground, there's a boy dressed as an Indian, scared. Another one's laying like kind of he was just shot. The other two are hiding. One of them's
Okay.
trying to sneak around. The
Yeah,
other one's just like hiding in a corner.
that works.
All right. So I'm afraid of now. Oh God. All right. So it's a typical American school now. So there's a kid.
You got
Oh
trench
God.
coat mafia.
Yeah, you got like Columbine stuff or something like that. Like there's a
That
kid with a automatic rifle just hunting down his fellow classmates.
All right,
One
let's
of
go. This one's so dark. Do you want to go on? All
Yeah,
right.
of course.
All right. All right. Kids yesterday.
So kids in a circle, 5 kids playing piñata in a lawn, like barefoot. Some are wearing shoes. They're just having fun. The dunking piñata. There's lemonade. Yeah, everyone's having fun.
Yes.
Can't wait to see. Oh God. So now they're beating an elderly person on the streets. Everything's broken. There's broken glass. It's not a lawn anymore. It's just like stores. They're looting stuff. There's an Antifa. Of course, there's an Antifa jacket. One of the kids, I don't know if it's wearing a skirt now, and it
Oh.
seems to be a male. Used to be, yeah.
I don't think I
One of the
ever
kids
noticed
needs
that
a
before.
belt. Oh, that's awful. His underpants are showing. That's
Oh yeah,
unacceptable.
we've
Yes.
got a sagger. All right, and that was kids today. A
That was
kids
awesome.
yesterday.
Yes.
You can find that in issue 2, which we still actually have for sale at flipcitymag.com for anybody that is already subscribed, has been like experiencing the wonders of Flip City Magazine, but you want to see some of our older stuff. It is still relevant today and hilarious. I'm glad you got some laughs out of that, Igor.
Yeah, no, I've read like the first book that they sent me. It was like so much fun. I had such a good time reading that.
Well, one of the comments that you had made when I sent you that PDF, after I bugged you a few times, I'm like, have you read it yet? Have you read it yet? But one of my favorite comments was, I couldn't explain to my wife what I was laughing at.
Yes, yes. That's exactly what happened. I was laughing maniacally, and she was like, "Oh, what's happening?" If I explain, you might like put me into an institution or something like that. I have to show you this. It's really
Good.
good. Good
Yeah.
artwork as well, which I appreciate a lot. Like there's very different styles, like lots of different artwork, like art styles. That's very nice.
Yeah, well, oh, and also that's the other thing, you guys. Anybody that wants to check out our older stuff, our first 3 editions, Scott, uh, my husband, who along with myself, but it is really more him. He is the mad mind behind Flip City. He did all of the writing and all of the illustrations in our first 3 editions, and then we got lucky enough to start building an audience and getting people to talk about what we're doing, and we're able to invite more artists in, including the great Ben Sullivan, who popped into chat to say Flip City always on point. Thank you, Ben, and you help us be on point all the time. Lead parody artist. We spoke about him earlier, and how he works with Flip City and adjusts his style to our very,
Yes,
very tight
yes.
timelines.
Very cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Igor, tell everybody where they can find you.
So you can find me on Instagram at Chakal, Chakal .Igor, Igor. You can also find me on X. I need to get a VPN because we're about to be banned from X in Brazil because Elon Musk said some nice things and our Supreme Judge didn't like the way that that sounds, so he's about to ban that platform entirely in our country. But you can find me there at Chakal, Chakal _ Igor, so Igor. Yeah, send me a
Fantastic.
message. Tell me what you liked about this. I'm always trying to be responsive, especially to other artists.
Yeah, and real quick, cause if you can go full screen on this, I have to show Igor this. So this is actually your supreme judge.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, on a very flamboyant dragon, along with
Yeah.
your El Presidente, or whoever your
Yes.
leader is in the sidecar. This is Ben Sullivan's work, and our lead
That's
parody for this
awesome.
most recent edition. Basically, the concept of the story is Javier Milei and Elon Musk team up to save the ex-employees trapped at the Brazilian headquarters, and they have to defeat, that justice.
I love that. I love that. Yeah.
I was considering doing a live read because you have the accent and all that kind of stuff, but that's why we're going to invite you back. I didn't want to give away
Okay.
our newest content so soon. So when we
Yeah.
have one of our FAFO parties, we will make sure to have you back, and then you can play the judge and be as gay as you want.
Yes. I will try to be as evil as I can.
All right, fantastic. And I've got to say one more time, thank you so much for everybody that popped in the chat and said what is up tonight, and especially to one of your online stalkers. Who was that again? Who was talking about your beautiful hair? I'm
Joe
scrolling back.
Leaking. Yeah.
Yes. So thank you for coming over and subscribing to Flip City, because I know I have that set over on YouTube that you can't chat unless you're subscribed. And you might have been our 1700th subscriber over on YouTube. So congratulations on that, because we were at 699 before we started tonight. Belmont Press popped in, Vulcan Lives in George Washington X, my mods that didn't ask to be mods, but you guys have that fancy blue wrench to pop any trolls in the head that might have popped in over on YouTube. And then over on the pilled side, let me say, TGM says thank you, and nobody else has popped in since then. Thank you guys for being here tonight, and of course Jim Bone hopping in over on the Rumble chat, keeping it lively over there. And of course, check out Flip City Mag at flipcitymag.com. Check out at least our free magazine. It costs nothing. You don't even have to give us your email if you just want to look at the short one, because I guarantee you we're funny, and you're going to have to explain to your wife why you are laughing so hard, or not. And Batman, love you. Hope to see you next week. And Cosmic Grandpa, if you want to either come live or just do disembodied voice, tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, we got a new place now, actually. We are going to be coming onto Madness Comic Network starting this Sunday. So you'll be able to find us on YouTube. We are also at 3beermen.tv. You'll find all our links there to Pilled, DLive, Odyssey, Rumble, and Twitch. So you can watch us lots of places. And yeah, we're going to have Pops Van Zant from Madness Comic Network as our guest this week. And he's going to introduce everybody to Madness Comic Network and reintroduce us to YouTube, where we haven't been for the last 3 years. So it should be fun.
That'll be fun. Okay, I'm gonna have to remember to go hop on Madness Comic Network's channel to at least be in the chat for you guys over there this Sunday.
We appreciate it. All right.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, that wraps it up for tonight. Join us next week, same channel, same time, 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. EST. Come 10 minutes early for the opening house band, or opening cartoons. I hope you guys have been enjoying those. For anybody that comes early, check out Igor. And thank you. Good night. Have a great rest of your Practice Friday night.
My name is Bigfoot. I fly a spaceship. You might not see me unless you're patient. Yeah, catch me in my saucer. Yeah, catch me in my UFO. Baby, I'm a monster. Yeah, maybe you don't know. My name is Skunk Ape. I smell like bad stuff. Except on Sundays I work at NASA. Yeah, catch me in my saucer. Yeah, catch me in my UFO. Baby, I'm a monster. Yeah, maybe you don't know. My name is Sasquatch. I'm still on my space. And when I blast off, I transcend time, space. Yeah, catch me in my saucer. Yeah, catch me in my UFO. Baby, I'm a monster. Yeah, maybe you don't know.
What about the youth today? What about drugs today? What about corruption? Corruption of the morals of our youth. The CIA is the biggest drug dealer in America. It has been for years. You want documentation on drugs being flown in plastic bags in the body cavities of the dead GI? Look at Time Magazine, January 1, 1970. What's going on in America today? Their plot, their plan, their conspiracy remains invisible. The Black Rose is the code word for this. It's a clandestine group of U.S. government operatives, primarily the CIA, which has for many years run illegal drugs and arms operations in both Southeast Asia via the Golden Triangle and the Middle East via the Golden Crescent, funded by the British socialist-based Russell Trust drug cartel. The Black Rose's current chairman and co-founder is an individual known as the White Rose, or GHWB, a known bisexual pedophile and CFR, Council on Foreign Relations conspirator. These are the people that run the world. These are the Illuminati. Very simple.